Okay, so what we're officially starting today, although we're going to really kind of get into it later this week, is drafting 156, architectural drafting. So what are we doing for this one? You're going to do a residential design project. So in essence, we're doing a single family home, or probably the place most of you go home to at night, or used to before you left home when you turned 18 or whatever the case might be. I've got a rendering project on here that will be extra credit if you wish to take it on. Certainly we've talked about many types of pictorial type of views, cover sheets if you wish to do that for extra credit. There's more information in the packet to follow. Now here's kind of the goal of this. It's the intent of this course that the students are able to create and manage a residential drawing project that has all of the necessary components to be permitted in the city of Twin Falls. A complete list of those requirements are tfid.org. We're going to go there in a minute. So in essence, that's what we use for our grading criteria in here, is if this was submitted at the end of this 6 weeks to Twin Falls Building Department, they would issue a permit for construction on those documents. Okay, so that's really your criteria. I'll talk a lot about this as we go through, because Twin Falls is different than, the Twin Falls City is different from what is required for Twin Falls County, which is different than what is required in Kimberly, which is different from what's required in Jerome, which is different from what's required in Blaine County, or Jerome County, or Ada County, or anywhere. But they all follow a set structure, and we'll talk about that pretty substantially. 6 weeks, month and a half. Folks, in essence, you're going to have drawings that are due as we go through here, and I've kind of instituted that based on student input. It used to be at the end, you wouldn't turn in really any drawings till the end, and you would try and turn this whole structure in at the end for your grade. If you are a procrastinator, you need to solve that problem. Because there is nobody that can produce, including me, a good set of house plans in a matter of days. It cannot happen. So if you've got a bunch of drawings that are a quarter of the way done and we're a week from the end of the course, and I can come in and work all night, I can do this, they're going to be crap. I can just tell you straight up. They will. There's too much information on them. You need to stay up. You need to stay with the class. Manage your time accordingly. You may have to be staying late. I know many of you come in here early. That's a great skill. Come in, get going early. Maybe you can't stay late. Maybe you got to come in over the weekends. I'm telling you, almost all of you will require outside class time to get this done. The text we're using. Oh, I forgot to bring mine up here. Can I use yours real quick? I will be in this one tomorrow. So we'll be doing chapters 1 through maybe 9 tomorrow. Okay? Now you do not need to really pre-read these. Okay. We'll be into those tomorrow. Okay? So that text. By the way, that text right there, you don't sell it back when this class is over. If you're going to do one of those rent things, you're going to need it during the summer semester also. In my opinion, this is probably the best text I've ever worked out in my entire life. At every single course I've ever taken. This is my most valuable one. Wow. This author does a great job. It covers many, many different disciplines, not just the architectural world. It's good for electrical, it's good for plumbing, it's good for HVAC, it's good for civil. Right? It's got all of it in here. This is a book I hope that you just keep forever, because it's a reference that all of you will use no matter what discipline you go into. It's a great text. We will be doing quite a bit of vendor stuff. Now, in today's world, most of that's done over the internet, but there are some other sources out there. What are we going to cover? We're not covering the entire book, Some of that's picked up in later courses. We'll use this text in civil drafting. We'll also use it in structural drafting. So that's where we'll pick up kind of the rest of it. But we're going to cover everything other than that. We're going to start with chapter 1 and chapters 2 through 7. The first one has to do with careers and where you're going to take this information and earn some money with it, I guess might be the right way to say. Get a job, right? So that's the first part. We'll explore all the different types of jobs here. We're going to do that tomorrow. Chapter 2 through 7 is really kind of a review. There's nothing in 2 through 7 that you haven't seen before. We covered it in Bertolini's, in the mechanical field. I will point out some things in there that are different in this field versus the mechanical field. It's just the basics. What's an A sheet? What's a B sheet? What's line weight? What's an isometric sketch? All of these types of things. Certainly it's worthwhile reviewing, but you won't need a whole lot of that information out there. You should already have it. After that, we're going to go into section 2, which is residential design. By that, I hope to get this one done this week. Not sure we'll make it, but we'll get started on it anyway. So how do we design something? Keep in mind, you're going to do this almost the same way you draw now. What's the first thing we do when we draw? We start breaking into shapes, right? When you design for structures, it's the same way. You take your shapes, they're all rectangles pretty much, unless you're doing a grain silo, then you got a circle. But in essence, what you do is you take rooms, you break it into rooms or interior partitions, and you design those partitions for their function. So in essence, we're going to follow the same procedure we've done all along. But instead of saying, oh, I got a triangle here, we're going to say, oh, I got a kitchen here. What do I need in this kitchen? I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. What kind of access do I need? Do I got safety stuff? Do I got this? Do I got that? There's a procedure for it. So we're going to go into that. We're going to be started on floor plans probably by Monday. You're going to get your project probably Thursday. It's going to arrive in the mail. So we'll get into that. We've got to go into some framing stuff. We're going to be taking a couple field trips. The second the weather breaks, we're going to go out and we're going to find a bunch of houses that are in that building process so that you can see many of these terms we're talking about. After that, when we get our floor plan defined, we generally design from the roof down, okay, because we don't know how big to make the foundation until we know what's sitting on top of it. So you design from top down, you build from bottom up, right? They're kind of reverse processes. So from the floor plan, we're going to go to the roof, then we're going to go to our site plan. You've got a lot that's going to be out west of town here. It's not in Twin Falls City, but we're going to use Twin Falls City code. So you're going to take this bare lot and you're going to design it for your structure. Then we'll go ahead and figure out how we're going to support this structure on that land. We'll produce our elevations and any needed details. Yes?
Why do you have to know the roof to do the foundation?
Because you don't know how much that roof weighs.
Oh, it's all.
Or if I've got a big eave overhang, do I need columns? Do I need beams? Do I need, what do I need where? Maybe I've got a roof I got to do an internal support for. Where's that bearing wall? I got to trace that weight down to the ground. We got to know where all those locations are before we start pouring concrete on the ground. Okay, that's why we do that. This is going to be approximately 15 drawings when you're all said and done. It's all going to be in one packet. Now, like I mentioned, I have changed this a little bit due to student input to kind of combat this procrastination thing. I'm going to ask for these views as we come through. They won't be complete all the way, because you can't really finish the floor plan until you really know how the roof and foundation are going to work. But you're going to get the floor plan 95% done, and then we'll switch to these other views, and you're going to come back to it. Okay? But I'm going to ask for these here, fully dimensioned, and you're going to love dimensioning architecture. It is, without a doubt, the hardest thing I've ever done in the drawing arena, is dimension architectural plans. It's a tough deal. They just get so busy. They are busy, busy, busy. There's dimensions everywhere. And it's just something you gotta go through. It takes a while. You can draw a floor plan in a couple days. It's gonna take a couple days to dimension it. So you figure whatever you take to draw, it's gonna take at least that long to size it. Anyway, we'll get to more of that as we go. Grading policy, nothing's changed. Now this one, we do have 6 weeks on it, so you get a day and a half of sick days, which equates to 6 tardies, whichever you are susceptible to, hopefully nothing. Because at the end, if you aren't tardy or sick, you're gonna have about a 6% bump on your grade. Instructional method, I hope to be done again by 10 each morning. Any questions on that? Okay. Now, one last thing, and then I'm going to stop here and we're going to go to the internet. Following this, I'm not going to go over this till tomorrow. This is the instruction packet on what you're doing. Now, I've got to attach right to the syllabus. You can rip the syllabus off of there if you wish, or keep them together. This is all your instructions and how things are going to proceed. So it would behoove you to look this over. We will go over it as a class tomorrow. At least hit the highlights. All right, I do want to show you something if you're worried about how you're being critiqued. If you would open up the internet. And then up in your taskbar, if you would type tfig.org. If you type that data in, it should take you to under construction. Anybody else getting under construction? Oh, wait. TFIF. TFID. Helps you can type.
That helps if you can spell.
Yes, thank you. Both. You get this website?
No.
No?
You have to do, it's D instead of G.
Is it D?
Oh, did I put G?
D is in.
I get it there as well as up in
TFID.
That's where I was getting it from.
The same one in the syllabus.
Wait.
TFID.
TFID.
Twin Falls,
Idaho.
Idaho.
Oh.
TFID.
We'll get there.
By the way, almost all counties, states, and cities now have websites for them. Used to be you always went to the planning and zoning or assessor's office for this information. Now most of it is available over the web for you. So what we want to do here to find where your drawings are going to be critiqued by, if you go to departments and go to planning and zoning. So just hold on departments, planning and zoning, and click on that one. Over on the left, the very top link, planning and zoning application forms and fees. Click into that one. We can bookmark this site so you don't have to go back to it. Go down towards the very bottom of this, and you will see building applications. Go into that one. And then you want to scroll down till residential projects. Now this would be a good page to bookmark right here so you're right at where you need to be. You will see a link in there, residential new home. It's a PDF, if you would open that. This is the application that gets turned in with your drawing set. There is portions on this you fill out. Okay? So here's where the plan designer fills all this out. In essence, you're filling all this information out too. There's fire code in here. There's square footage under roof, outside the house under roof. They don't care about square footage that's not under a roof. But we've got to list all that there. It goes through the process of it. If you would go down to about page 3, it starts with the site plan. And everything Twin Falls City wants on that. So they give you a checklist. And when we do our site plan, we've got to come through and check mark every one of these. Now, this is not applicable on many drawings, not every item on here. But we'll go through each one of these and make sure that our drawings take care of it. Do you have a north arrow on there? Do you have a scale on there? You know about what all that stuff is now, right? Okay, but we need to go ahead and put all that. You've got after that, foundation, floor framing. How are we going to carry our floor platform? How are we going to hold it all together? How big is our footing, stem walls, basements, rebar, all of that going on? Then you have your floor plan. What's our interior partitions going to look like? Our exterior partitions. And that's all that they really have on here. If you go through the fine tooth of this though, it does tell you Twin Falls City requires 3 elevations in addition to these plans and the checklists that go on here. So they're all spelled out, every single drawing that they require, what's needed. So you might want to bookmark this or save this as a PDF. In essence, this is your outcomes assessment or what your drawings are held to. You will be critiqued to this list. I will have, probably in about 2 weeks, once we know enough to understand what we're talking about, I'm going to have John from our building department come in and have a talk with you also about this and what he looks for, some hints that he has that might help you get through this process.
Is he the one that does the class? You said that they would do one for adult students to get more familiar with the building process?
No, this wasn't CSI thing.
Oh, he's done a CSI.
No, John works for the city of Twin Falls.
Is it John Payton?
He's denied a bunch of my permits.
Go Andy.
You know John very well.
He's cost me a lot of money.
Go Andy.
What was your question, Missy?
Is it John Payton?
Sounds good to me.
What's his last name?
I have. It's V something.
John, the car salesman.
He's got a weird last name. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Victor.
There you go.
John Victor.
V. See, I knew it was V. Damn it.
I'm sad it took me that long, his prior student here.
Just don't put your name, Andy. Put like somebody else's name.
Okay, so anyway, folks, I just wanted to point that out to you. We will be jumping into your text, chapters 1 through 7 tomorrow. The rest of the day is yours to work on your 3D project. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Ask questions as you go about it.